brand new Android tutorial. And today my topic of discussion that I'm gonna discuss today and teach you and I'm talk about is activity life cycle, sorry. So what is life cycle? Actually, life cycle, we know life cycle means it's like start to end, all those states from start to end is a life cycle, right? So even the activity, like for example, I have already explained in my previous lectures that every applications. Okay, let's close the application. uh, okay, so every applications, whenever you open any applications, we have a the like the activity, right? Which is hosting fragments, and fragments is a kind of a view, right? So this activity has a life cycle. So that means it is started and it is destroyed also. There is a there are different states in which the activity, there is a life cycle of the activity. That means there is a there are the activity is created, the activity stops, the activity pauses, the activity recreates it, okay, restarts it, the activity resumes it. There are different stages, and these are called actually life cycle. Okay, and okay, so the life cycle is made of different states from the initialization to the destruction, right? So if you see, when the activity is launched, we create, we start the activity, we resume, the activity is running. So you can when the focus is there, so you can perform some certain actions to the activity, then you pause it, you stop it and destroy it. So this is a simple cycle of a activity, and I'm gonna explain this programmatically here. Okay, so activity life cycle states. Okay, what are activity life cycle states? Okay, there is a difference between the callback method and the life cycle activity states. Okay, so actually states, it represent the current status of the activity. So what is your current status of the activity? Like for example, what is the current status of this activity? Okay, so this is a state, whereas the callbacks, activity lifecycle callbacks, so these are actually the callbacks. Okay, these are not states. Like on create is a callback, on start is a callback. So if you see in our activity, all these are, we are overriding all the callbacks here: on start, on resume, on create. Whenever, if you see, on create, on resume, on start, on pause, on stop, on destroy. And this is these are all the callbacks in which we can actually manage the life cycle. That means we can run the we can check the each state of the life cycle of the activity. Okay, and we can perform certain actions on using the callbacks. Okay, okay, so okay, so the difference between the state of a life cycle is it represents the current status of the activity, like it is visible or not visible, has the user permanently navigated away. So if it is created or started, resumed, destroyed or initialized. Those are the states of the activity. Whereas there are different callbacks for activity lifecycle callbacks method, where which is called, these callbacks are called in the particular state. These callbacks are called in a particular state of a life cycle of an activity. So when your activity is first launched, you make a you on create callback is created, like called. Whereas on start callback is called when the activity is visible. Whereas on resume is called when the activity has a focus. Activity has a focus means you can perform certain actions. Okay, this activity has a focus, so you can perform certain action, right? I can increment the counter, the amount here. Okay, and that's the idea. Okay, and on resume, when the activity has a focus. Okay, called when the back button and navigate to another activity. When on destroy is when you destroy it, like by pressing back button, the act is destroyed. On pause, when activity loses focus. On stop, when the activity goes off screen. On start, if the activity is already created, it is called before the activity is visible. Okay, okay, so okay, so let's do some let's do something like let's do a check. So how can we check the state of the activity? Okay, so uh, let me do a simple demo of how we can check the life cycle. So actually I have overridden all the methods, important methods, that is on start, on resume. So actually, if you press Ctrl O, you can uh, choose all the methods that you can override. For the moment I am trying to override this callback of a activity lifecycle, and like here I have I'm trying to open the app. Okay, and it's launching this main activity. So what is happening here, if you check out the logcat, what is done is on create is called at the first time, right? We create the on create, then okay, so on start is called. If you see, on start is called, then on resume is called. That means three, like whenever you start the application, that means the you launch the app, that means the launcher activity is launched here. That is our launcher activity is main activity. So we are calling this these three callbacks, that is on create, on start, and on resume. Okay, on create, on start, and on resume. On create is called once when the activity is first launched, right? On create, on start is called when the activity is visible. On resume called when the activity has a focus. So that means the activity right now has a focus. I can press, I can like increment the counter, so that means the activity has a focus. So now if we do something like, if we press the back button, let's see what happens. Is, if you see, we are on pause is called, on stop is called, and on destroy is called. That means your activity is destroyed here. So on pause is called. So on pause is called means that the activity loses focus. So the activity has lost the focus. On stop is called, the activity goes off screen. If you see, on stop is called, that means the activity loses focus. Okay, let me put this so that we'll understand much better. If you see, we create first. On pause is called, that is when the activity loses focus. On stop is called when the activity goes off screen, right? Then on destroy is called, that means where is on destroy called, when the activity presses when you press a back button and navigate to another activity. That means that we press the back button and now activity is already destroyed. Okay, so the idea is also like, guys, you have to understand about the garbage collection, because if on destroy, what happens actually is the activity is fully shut down, and it could be so the activity is shut down and the activity is ready for being garbage collected. So garbage collection is a technical term that refers to automatic cleanup of the object that no longer is going to be used. So right now we have closed the app, so if you press here, we don't have okay, so actually the activity is already destroyed, so that's the concept that we have to understand. So now let's do, okay, let's clean up the logcat. Let's restart the app again, and we see again on create is called, on start is called, and on resume is called. And now, okay, I would like to make you understand something like okay, so let's navigate to our launcher. Okay, if you see here, we don't go to the on destroy, we have just gone to on pause and on stop is called. That means on pause means your activity loses focus, and on stop is called when the activity goes off screen. You see that our activity has gone off screen, so if we click, we can come back to the main activity, right? The you see, on start and on resume is called again, on restart is called. Okay, so you see there is the important concept that you have to understand between the difference between on create and on restart is that on create is called only once when the activity is first launched, whereas on start is called every time after you after that means first time on create is called. Okay, like whenever your activity is created first time, then all the following time on restart will be called. Okay, so every time if you relaunch the app, your on restart will be called. Like for example, on stop, we call the on stop when you lose the focus. Okay, and then whenever you the user navigates to the activity. If you see here, user navigates to the activity, then on start is called, and on start is called, then it goes to on start, right? If you see on start is called, then it goes to on start, then on resume. Now on resume means it has a focus, so I can play with it, right? So right now if you see numbers, we have increased the amount to 7, then we can go back, and still if you run back, our value is still being saved, right? And okay, so also I wanted to show you the difference between on create and on start. Okay, on start. Okay, so right now I have initialized this value, like for example number 7, this value is incremented by a counter. Okay, where is the counter? uh, okay, actually because this is a home fragment, right? So I have to go to home fragment. Yeah, okay, so if you see I have a amount here which is initially 0, and each time, okay, let me, okay, what I can do right now is I can okay, which will be initialized later on, which will be initialized uh, on create. Okay, let me create, override the method on create. Okay, let me on start. Okay, so there are two callbacks that I'm in. So I am initializing the value, that is the amount, to be 0 here, and okay, and this is of type integer. Okay, the problem is, okay, let's do something like this, like let's initially initialize it to the null. Okay, then on create, okay, the problem is also here, like non assertion call. Okay, so what we can do is we can okay, we can initialize it to 0. Then at the first time on create, let's initialize to the default value of 1. Okay, and okay, so let's run the app. Yeah, I just wanted to show you one particular difference is yeah, okay, so there is one crazy thing is okay, so yeah, I was just wanted to show you one difference is like when you set the value on create, because actually the problem is this is a fragment, so so if we set the value to 5, and if we navigate back to the, and then if we re-navigate, we have the value that is saved, that is 5, right? So now the the problem is like if we set the value in the amount to be in on start, like the initially like let's set the value um, to 0. Okay, so what happens here right now is like okay, if we run the app again, okay, it's right now the value is 0, right? So if I increment the value, and like if I go, I mean like pause, if I go to background the app, then if I re-navigate to the app, and if I press here, if you see, right, it's incrementing starting from 1. That means if you see the problem, the difference here is like each time, we have to be careful when we set the initialization. The only difference I wanted to show you is like whenever you re-navigate to the application, on start is called, okay, and if you initialize the on start here, so right, the value is starting from 0, right? So even if you increment, we start from 0. So now right now we have 5. If we just pause the application, that means have gone in background. So now you see it's restarting from 0. So every time on start is called, so that's why this can be a possible bug in your application. So you have to be very careful about this concept that I wanted to just give a demonstration about this concept. Okay, so okay, and so let's move further. And so some other concepts that you have to understand is okay, so let's go to one another concept. Another concept is like about the pause. Okay, when you pause, the activity loses focus. Okay, so I want to show you one important concept of losing the focus. So how okay, here I have implemented a share button. Okay, so if you click the share button, what happens is the activity is still visible but it's going in background, so it's losing focus. Okay, I will show you. If you see here, you see the activity is visible but still it's on background, so it's not like I cannot it's not, it's losing the focus, right? So one, the focus is present in this another this pop-up dialog here. Okay, so the current activity is losing focus here. Okay, so that's the difference you have showing here. So if you see also in the logget, on resume and on pause is being called. Here on pause, we are in the on pause state of the application. That means the activity is losing focus, right? And if you move back, on resume is called again. That means on resume means the activity has already focus again. Then yeah, if you click the back again, then you see on pause, on stop, and on destroy is called, so application is giving destroyed, right? So and ready to be garbage collected. So yeah, this was my small demonstration about a simple concept about activity lifecycle. Hope you will like it, guys, and please support me, subscribe me, and yeah, just if you have any questions, just comment me below, and just read my blog. Okay, I have also described here about some interesting concepts here, and thank you.